Warning, you are about to enter the BGP suite. No thongs, no boy shorts, no thigh highs, no commandos are permissible. BGP, big girl panties only. So pull up to woman up. And no, please don't leave with your panties in a bunch.
Welcome to BGP. My name is Adrianne, and today's topic is going to be, we're going to talk about being stuck. So many of us have probably experienced a time in our lives where we have had aspirations and goals for ourselves, but we find ourselves stuck. And a lot of different things attribute to that. What I want to specifically talk about today and see how you all feel is the welfare system. And I'm always careful about talking about this because it is very sensitive for some to talk about. I've gotten ridiculed and backlash behind even speaking on it. But I worked for the department for 14 years, and I've seen a lot of things where I saw women that were very talented in areas and have the skills to do something besides welfare, but it ends up having them stuck. And just to share with you a little bit of a scenario, on my very first day at DPSS, I met a lady, very sweet. I helped her fill her paperwork out. And then, very sweet. Every time she came in, we conversed and had good conversation. And on my last day, 14 years later, she was still there coming to turn in her CA-7. And CA-7 is a form that they're required to complete every month. And it dawned on me when I walked out of there, because she seen me with my balloons and flowers and walking out. She was like, "You're leaving?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just going to a different department." But the fact that she was still there 14 years later, it kind of made me think, like, is the system set up to help us, or is it holding people back? So my question to you, does welfare hinder or does it help?
Ooh.
That's deep.
Ooh. I think it depends on the person's mindset. Mm-hmm. If you're going in with the mindset that, this is it for you and that you're just going to just sit back and collect and accept all the freebies that's given to you, then, yeah, you can be stuck. But if you have the mindset that this is temporary, this is just to help you get through that rut that you're going in during that time phase while you're getting to that next level in your life, then no. So I think it depends on the person's mindset for me.
Yeah, I think the welfare system was created to assist you. But when you think about it, there's a lot of young ladies out here that they're trying to get away from home. Mm-hmm. They're trying to get out from underneath their mother's roofs. Mm-hmm. So they use the system to get that money, get that housing, become what they think is independent. And just like Neisha said, depending on your mindset is how you approach being on welfare.
Mm-hmm. And how do we assist these women? We speak highly on sisterhood and encouraging and inspiring. What are some of the things that we could do as a sister that sees maybe that your friend or your loved one is in this rut or stuck in this box? I like to call it a box because and sometimes it's fear. They just don't know what to do. Maybe it's a generational curse. Maybe they seen mom do it and now it's just become habit forming. Mm-hmm. And it's a for sure thing. For some, I remember back in the day, there was every time you had another baby, you would get more money. Mm. But the rules have changed slightly now. And what I have seen is a lot of people spend a lot of time trying to figure out how to get over rather than doing something to better themselves. So do you think it's a generational curse? What are some things that we could do to encourage or inspire?
Ooh. It can be a generational curse because, I have seen some women that come from generations of being on welfare. Mm-hmm. Grandma was on it, mama was on it, so now they're on it. Like, they feel like this is it, once they have the kid, this is the life for me. But, and then again, it goes back to me saying, like, it's your mindset. You can, curses aren't always meant to be lifelong. You can always break them if you really want to. How can we assist as being like a sisterhood? I always say you got to give options Because we could tell somebody, you can be anything you want in life. You don't have to just keep receiving this free stuff. You can do this. But if they don't see it, or if you're not showing them, then they're not going to hear you. So if we give them options and show them other, other availabilities for them to look at, then they're not going to see it. Like I've talked to other people who were on it for a long time, and I was like, you can do better than that. You too talented. You too gifted. You have so many gifts that you're sitting on while you just sitting there collecting. Like, you could do better than that. And some of them have gotten off. So it just, if you give them options or alternatives that they can do as far as like, jobs that pay more than what the welfare system is giving, they might be into it, but it depends on their mindset too.
Right.
Yeah.
Before I talk about sisterhood, let's talk about motherhood. And the women that have children and say that they would die for their children, that they want their children to have more than what they had. I had my son at 26 years old, and he came 2 months early, so he was a preemie. And I got a bill for $169,000 because he was in intensive care unit for 3 months. And when I got that bill, they thought that I was going to be able to pay that bill. And so I had to talk to the judge, and he was like, can you borrow the money? And I'm like, if I could borrow the money, I would have already done it. So what they did, they told me to get on welfare. However, welfare is very embarrassing. They want to get very deep into your business. You know, because you work there. They want to know who you slept with, how many times you slept with them, what's their name, blah, blah, blah. And you can only have a certain amount of assets. So I had just purchased a new car. And I could not have, this was back in 1987, 88. I had just purchased a new car. You couldn't have any assets more than $500.
Yeah.
So they sent me out I had to get estimates for my car, and it could not be worth any more than $500. So I went to 3 different automobile places, and this is where I met Debo. He worked at a car dealership on Hawthorne Boulevard in Hawthorne, and I told him my situation. Well, I'm probably going to get in trouble for this shit. Well, it's been 34 years later. But he actually gave me an estimate for my brand new car for $500, and that's how they wiped away my debt. So, as a mother, I would not want to be on welfare. As a mother, that's not enough money for me to survive. That's like robbing Peter to pay Paul, because you never have enough. And so the first of the month, when you get your check, the refrigerator is stocked. The kids are eating good. They get their new outfits. And then probably 10 days down the road, you're out of money. You know what I'm saying? So when you're looking on social media and you see a young lady who's a single mother with a picture of all her children, and they have on the designer wear, that's only, every so often, and you think they're living the good life. So a lot of people are on, or I'm going to say a lot of females are on welfare because they're just lazy. And they know they can get that money, and that money is steady. They know what they're getting. How you can help somebody, they got to help themselves. They got to want more for themselves. Like I always say, once you have children, your life is not your own. Your life belongs to those children. You got these little people that look like you, that's looking up to you, thinking that you're Supermom. And you can do it all. For example, I told my son one time he wanted something. I said, you got to wait, because Mom doesn't have any money right now. And he was like, yes, you do. That little machine, the ATM machine, he thought you could just go up there and ask for $20, $30, $400, and you got it. And I had to explain to him, you have to put money in to get money out. So the system, if you work the system correctly, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, they have assistance that will get you in a better position than some of the people that are already working. For example, when I did hair, I worked with the GAIN program, Back to Work program, and I offered free hairstyles to the women. So the county would bring them up in the county car and drop them off, and I would do their hair, and they would go on the interview, and once they saw how much they were going to make an hour, it wasn't more than what they were getting, they would quit. Or I'd have the women that come in, and they just wanted a hairstyle. One girl wanted some streaks, and she wanted I'm like, nah. And so when I told them that, keep coming to me. I'll do your hair for free. And once you get a paycheck, then you can be able to pay me. And I was working with the county for about 4 years. And out of those 4 years, let me tell you, I only got about 2 or 3 people.
Yes. That's the part that's disheartening, because there are so many programs out there that they qualified for. And the county, if you ever take the test for the county, once they put you through the GAIN program, they put you up on the list. So I would often share with the girls in my group, here, take the test. If you've already got your certificate for GAIN, they're going to put you up on the list. There's the veterans list, and then there's the GAIN list. So they do whatever they can to assist, but some people still don't want to do it.
And so do they still, because I know back then they would show them how to talk on an interview.
Oh yeah, we did.
And do they still have the closet where if you didn't have any clothes,
Yes.
they had a closet that had clothes and shoes to assist these young ladies in having the proper attire.
Exactly.
And then they would record them doing these interviews to make sure they were saying the right thing. So there are things there that other races of people use to their advantage.
Yes, they do.
Schooling, they get bus passes, they get gas vouchers. Am I correct?
Yes, that is correct.
They get the housing, they get things that we can't get as normal women working a 9 to 5, and that's why I'll be pissed off.
Right.
What's my motivation
Thank you.
for being a working woman and I'm barely making it and I keep on going and these people are losing $200 a month rent?
That's the other part.
I wish I
Yes,
had $200
exactly.
a
Shoot,
month
I've
rent.
seen it even less than that, especially in the area that I live in. Some of those houses are not that old, and they're living in 5 and 6 bedroom homes for $180, $200 a month. And I'm not hating on anyone. I know they qualify for
I'm
it.
jealous.
But when do you get out of that? When do you get out of that thinking? So I remember one of the girls sharing with me. She said, when I finally got off, it was so hard for me to use real money to pay for my food because they got so used to sliding that EBT card or using food stamps. And I remember back in the day, people would be like really, like looking around.
They
Even when
didn't
I
want
used
you to
WIC,
see.
they didn't want you to see. Girl, now they just like they done.
Because it looks
Yes,
just like a credit card.
exactly.
But when you go to the housing apartments and houses that they get in, some of those apartment complexes are brand spanking new. Their stuff looks better than ours. They got the great ceilings. They got the washer and dryer. They have all the amenities, and they go in there and they tear that stuff up.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they
So,
do.
as a sister, what can I say to you? Go get a job.
Exactly.
Go get a job. Want something more for yourself. Want something more for your children.
Right.
Because here's the thing. If all 3 of us was on welfare and we all had children and we eat noodles, you eat noodles, they eat noodles, we eat fried bologna sandwiches or whatever, the children think this is the norm. And then when they grow up and they go outside into society and see people eating steak and see people dressing like this and people being able to do certain things, then they know it's a difference.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
So it's just a horde of women that migrate amongst one another and make this situation look like it's reality when it's actually not.
Right. That's true. So true. And in one of the answers I got one time in talking about welfare was they would say reparations, and that this is money that's owed to me. This is money that, How do you feel about that? That this is what their excuse was for sitting on it forever or doing what they did, is they would mention reparations.
Reparations is its own separate entity to me. Like, are we due for that and for the black people or the descendants of slavery? Absolutely. But can I say that I'm just going to sit back and collect welfare in exchange for it? No, because even if let's hypothetically say that's what you're doing, you're still shortening yourself because welfare doesn't even pay you that much. Like, it really doesn't. So I'm going to disagree with that. I think that's just a person just being, lazy. Not really trying, not really putting themselves out there to want better. And like Ms. Mona said, you should want better for your children. You should want them to succeed and go further than where you are. So if you just sitting back just collecting government hand-me-downs, then
And I've seen the situation where maybe their children have timed out. Now they're 18, they're not going to be on their case anymore. Right away they bring them to the office. You got to get on GR. Instead of encouraging them to, okay, let's go get a job or let's go to school or whatever, their thing is, if you're gonna live up in here, you got to at least get some GR, some extra food stamps, because I'm about to lose this.
Wow.
So the mindset, like you said, is so different, and they got to get in a better mindset of realizing you got to get out of the box. I get the fear, because that's what I would get a lot of time. I'm just scared. This is all I know, and to get them to move up outside of that box is difficult, to get them to think differently.
There was an article a few years back. I think they lived in Washington, D.C. Don't quote me. But the mother was 87 years old. And she had about maybe 9 or 10 children. And none of those men stayed. So she had a whole multiple generations of children on welfare. And so she had her own Section 8 house. All her kids were on Section 8. And then it came time where they all got evicted. Mm-hmm. And they were down there at the county building demanding that somebody do something. Somebody was on medication, and they couldn't get their medication because their money had ran out. And I don't feel sorry for them, because welfare is not reparations. Welfare, you cannot pass that down.
Right.
That's not wealth that you can pass down. You can't pass down food stamps, EBT, Medi-Cal, none of that down to each other. So I didn't feel sorry for them. If you lived in the same place, and I think they had lived in there for over 20 years, if you lived in that place for 20 years, you should have been able to collectively, with all those children, find you a house that you can dwell in.
Exactly.
So no, it's not reparations. Reparations may not ever be given to us.
Right.
Like I said, you should be embarrassed to get on welfare. That's supposed to be a temporary thing.
Exactly.
That's supposed to be for people that absolutely need it. There are handicapped, disabled people that need welfare. And shit, if you have a son, they can't get on welfare. Right? If they have boys that have felony records or criminal records, they can't get on welfare. They can't get GR. And even for men to go down there and get GR, what do they get, $100 or $200
it's like
a month?
really low, like $212 or some craziness.
It's awful. It's awful. Get in there. If you have to get in there, get in there quick.
Get out.
Use those resources that they have available for you. You can go to school. You can get a degree. You can do apprenticeships.
Yes.
You can go to the trades, and you can get in and out.
Yeah. There was an article on a lady who got her whole dentist. She's now a dentist, and she just just did everything she was supposed to with the GAIN program, and when it was all over, she had a degree. She was a dentist.
Wow.
So it's possible, and I think so many people just get, I don't know, they get complacent, like I said, stuck. And then I also see where they hide the father. I don't know who the baby daddy is. I'm not going to turn my baby daddy into food stamps. But as soon as the food stamps is short, they call us cussing us out. So it's like the county is now your baby daddy, and you go off on the county more than you make him responsible for assisting you.
But even when they get on the county, those men have to pay that money back.
Yes, they do.
So how's that reparations?
I know, exactly. Yeah.
And now the baby daddy mad. You know what I'm saying? There was one time that my son's father, I told him to come get his son. You take care of him.
Right.
And a girlfriend called me that had actually worked at the county building and was like, Mo, such and such is down here. He trying to put your son on the county. And I was like, I called the, what do you call it? The people where you get the money from. Child support. I called child support, and I told them the situation. And so they were like, well, what they're going to do, they're going to stop his payments, and they're going to make me pay him. So, girl, I had to do a little trick. I had to call him and give my baby back. Okay. I was doing fine. But how dare you go down there and get on the county? You're an able-bodied person. There's no shame in the whole thing about it. I'm telling all my business. And, it's true. I did not get any kind of assistance from him where I had to fight him actually to get anything. But I just put him in the system and let it ride. And I told him like this. Either he's going to get a job or he's going to die. But my son is going to be in the system because it was very important for me, and you can get mad if you want to let my child know that I fought for him.
Exactly.
I didn't have this baby by myself, and you're going to do something. He didn't even try to buy groceries or any kind of monetary thing, clothes or whatever, so I put him in the system. So it was my son's 11th birthday, and I got a check. It was a little check. Okay. And I called my son. He was actually with his father. And I was like, hey, we hit the jackpot, and your dad is probably going to be mad. And so Devin thought, we hit the lottery or something. And I'm like, nah, your daddy got to pay, you know. And once he found out, he cussed me out. Mm-hmm. He said, no wonder why you have been so nice. You know, because he knew every time that phone rang, where's my money? That was the first thing I said. If you talk to my son right now, he'll tell you, that's the first thing I said, where's my money?
Exactly.
And so they start taking that money out of his check, and he was furious. You know, so you don't want to put your children's father in the system, but you do have to fight for your children. Exactly. You do have to try to see if you could work it out with him. But if you can't, you got to get out there and you got to get on your grind. You got to feed these babies. Yeah. And you have to advance in life.
Yeah. And you got dudes that will literally quit a job to avoid paying child support.
Yes. Absolutely.
Which to me, that's you just pretty much saying, fuck you. You know what I mean? That every time you flip that switch to turn lights on in the house, that's support. If I have used the child support, because it ain't going to dictate how you spend it. Tell your mama to buy you an outfit with that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm going to buy him some stuff, but I'm going to also take care of some of these things around here.
First of all, that ain't no money.
Thank you.
If you're getting $200 a month, that's groceries for maybe
a
week
couple
or
of
weeks if you stretch it.
Yes.
You know, so she's using it to buy clothes and blah, blah, blah. There ain't nobody buying nothing. They taking care of these kids. But there are some women that do it. But like I said, get off of the system. Look at the eviction moratorium right now.
It's about to end.
Effective yesterday. It ended last night at midnight.
Wow.
The federal one. But the state for Cali
we got
is next
September.
month. Yeah.
September.
Yeah, but they said it's 7 million people
I know.
that don't have any money that may be facing evictions.
Yeah.
Why put yourself in that position? And it happened a few years ago also. They cut the people off in Georgia and the lines were wrapped around the building and they were just hot because they were about to lose everything. Why? That's a wake-up call for you.
It is. It really is.
Why put yourself in that position?
That's even with the utilities. You know, most of us that work for utility companies, we haven't been able to turn services off because of COVID. Normally we would turn people off for non-payment, but you have people that haven't paid in 2 years. And I understand some people are in situations where they weren't able to pay. But you got some people that were receiving public assistance. Nothing changed with their public assistance. They continue to receive it. So you should have kept paying your bill. And now you got these huge bills that you're unable to pay. So it's, you know, trying to talk to customers and let them know, hey, put a little something on it. You know what I mean? Because it's going to get to a point. We're not giving a forgiveness program. Right. There are different programs out there that will assist you, but it's not coming directly from LA County. So it's going to be scary to see how things turn out.
Next month, September 1st.
Exactly.
It is because of COVID. There are so many jobs out here, entry-level jobs, minimum wage jobs, and they don't want to work. Every time I come home from my job, I see young ladies and young men out there, and I'm like, hey, my job is hiring. And they don't want to work. They, you know, I would be like, where? What's the address? What time? Blah, blah, blah. Can you get me in? Can I use your name? Blah, blah, blah. And see, what happens is you can still be in the system until you get your first check. And then your benefits decrease. But that money that you're going to get on a job is actually going to be more money than you can get from welfare.
Right.
Because they used to get, $200 or $300 per child. They cut that off, too.
No more.
You can't do that. You got to be an adult. You got to take care of your business. Exactly. These children didn't ask to be here. You brought them here. It's your job to take care of them. I don't feel sorry for them. I work too hard.
Exactly.
You know, I pay my bills. I go to work, you know, and you just sit home and get a check every month. That's not fair.
That's my next question. Is it fair? And see, the thing is, work ethic is a learned behavior. You see mama getting up every morning going to work, you realize that that's the normal thing to do. But if you see mama every day, she ain't doing nothing, or daddy sitting up, he playing video games all day, he in the same spot he was when you left for school and now he's there again, you begin to think that this is the norm. And so we talk about all the time how kids are like sponges. They're absorbing all this stuff. And we end up having another generation of kids that think this is the way of life. So,
and another thing that pisses me off about they're stay-at-home moms, your children look the worst. Their hygiene is off. They're smelly, they're musty, their clothes are not ironed, their hair is not combed properly, they're coming to school with little scabs of mucus on their nose and sleep in their eyes. And what the hell are you doing? That's just pure trifling. That's pure lazy.
Exactly.
That's lazy. And then when you look at their kids, that they're upset. Handle your business. That's what being an adult is about.
Right.
That's what being a woman is about. Your children are a representation of you and how you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Get up and get your kids out to school.
Right.
And make sure that they eat. The kids are coming to school hungry.
All the time, yes.
That causes learning disabilities.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you can't expect a kid's attention span to be good if his stomach is
Stomach is
growling.
rumbling,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? He can't.
Yeah.
So my thing is, and those are those mothers that could be volunteering at the school. You got all the time in the world. You ain't doing nothing else. Go to the school and volunteer. Why is it that now it's time to, you're mad because they're being held back, but all year you didn't show up at the PTA meeting, you ain't showed up to the parent-teacher conference, and you got the time to do it. What is your excuse? We have to be better parents for our kids.
Look at what happened last year when they sent all the kids home. A lot of those mothers was mad.
Yes.
Because they was like, who gonna watch them?
Exactly.
Who gonna watch my
Come
kids?
get
I'll
your
send them to
kids.
y'all.
Right.
They too bad. I miss the teachers because they know, like, nah, it's horrible.
Yeah, a
we
lot of
definitely
them-
got to do better.
Yeah.
Sending them to school to be babysitters or
Yeah.
to be their surrogate parents.
Exactly.
You know, and then they get mad, like you say, when their grades are down. And it's the school's fault, no, it's your fault.
Yeah.
The school
Exactly.
can only do so much. You're supposed
Right.
to back up and make sure that homework is done on time and make sure they understand their lessons and they're not doing it.
Yeah.
I think this has been a wake-up call for them, COVID. But it should always be a wake-up call.
Exactly. I totally agree. So in closing, what advice would you give a mother that you see is stuck in that rut of either welfare or even with Section, I've been to a girl's housewarming. She had a housewarming. She had a Section 8 house. I know. But that ain't your house, boo-boo. But yeah, so I think it's the mindset. And what do we tell them? You know, like I know one of the things I used to do is every time there was a county bulletin, I would bring it to my class and say, hey, I'll help you fill out your resume. I'll help you do this. I'll help you do that. But you can offer the help. But if they don't want to do it, you know what I mean?
It's only so much you can do. Like I said, I try to give alternatives to what they're doing. Like, how much you get? Oh, you say you get like $500 a month? Well, this job over here is paying, you know, like you have to show them alternatives that could, like, you know, where they have an opportunity to make more money, offer benefits and all that stuff. I do that. I definitely talk about it because I tell them, like, what you making, I was making when I was 20. You know,
Right.
like I'll tell them that to, like, not to put them down, but just to be like, you got to want more for you and your family. Like,
Exactly.
this can't be your way of life where you just think it's acceptable and it's normal, because it's not. I definitely do that without the judgment, but just the encouragement for them to want better.
Yes.
That's what I would say.
Yeah.
I would say stop using welfare as a way to escape from your mother's homes. And what it really boils down to is nothing was put into the child. They don't have any goals. You know, sometimes you have setbacks and you have dreams deferred as working mothers, as working women, as women, period. You know, something happens where you just thought, you know, you was going to get there, and then something happens and you have to take a step back. So it's all about what's put into a child, what you want out of life. If your goal is to be a mother only, which is a beautiful thing, babies cost money.
Yeah, they do.
Taking care of kids costs money. They're growing every week.
Yep.
You know, they will eat you out of house and home. You know, they have no idea of how much things cost and what it takes to provide, keep a roof over a child's head and yours. The utilities on, clothes on their back, food in that refrigerator, gas money to get them to and fro. So you have to want something for yourself.
Right.
You have to want something for your life. Sit back and figure out what it is you want to do. And if you find yourself in that system, use the system to help assist you get there. If you go to that office and you run across a lady, a Adrianne or a Neisha, they're going to give you the resources, but nobody is going to help anybody that does not want to help themselves.
Exactly.
Yep.
When there is an urgency, people tend to get up and get moving.
Exactly.
So it irks my soul. Like you say, some people have rent for $100 a month and they're losing these houses time after time after time, and they're keeping the people that really need it to not be able to have that assistance. Put on your big girl panties. Be a woman. Take care of your children. You are supposed to be the first role model for your children. Your children are really supposed to say, Mama gets the job done. Mama is driven. When they get older, they have the memories of Mama used to get up, sick, not sick, happy, sad. I don't know what's going on in Mama's life, but she always made a way for us. You have to make a way for yourself. And if you make a way for yourself, automatically you're going to make a way for your children. That's all I have.
So true. Yep. Thank you so much. I think in closing, I just want to say that your children are your responsibility. They're not the responsibility of LA County or Riverside County or wherever county you're in where you're receiving assistance. Just know that. And it is a stepping stone. I think if you get in a bad situation and you need it, by all means, use it. But like you were saying, Mona, get in and get out. Because otherwise it becomes a crutch for you. You begin to think that that's all you can do and you stay in the box. Get out the box, ladies.
Let me say one more thing.
Sure.
And when you said is it a hindrance? It is a hindrance. The system is put in place to keep you down.
Oh, absolutely.
Year after year, you get one phone, they make a better phone. You get one TV, they make a better TV. You know, and the system is a place. They don't want you to do good. They want you to be unemployed. They want you to be on that because they get kickbacks from that money. So yeah, you don't want to be somebody else's pawn. You don't want to make anybody else rich. Make yourself rich. Make your children rich. Okay.
I often will say it's designed to, and I'm so sorry, it's designed to keep you in this little area. Like, it's all in this one area. It's only this. And so you get to where you don't want to do anything else. And so they have you by the balls, basically. You are stuck right here on this street, in this area where everybody else is there's nothing to make you thrive. So I think, this topic could go on and on and on. But, yeah, in closing, thank you guys for your opinion. Thanks for joining us today. And if that's nothing else,
like, share, subscribe, leave us a comment.
Yes.
Tell us what you think about this topic. Until the next episode, BGP.
We out.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.